Alrighty. Back in 2005, I knew absolutely nothing socially. Well, times have changed, and well, I'm not saying I'm a complete expert. There's quite a number of times, a lot of the time, not all of the time, but a lot of the time, when dealing with white Western people, I'm a little bit like a politician where I can sense the mood of a crowd. And in many ways I can sense how people are going to react in general, in a generalized large group, in a crowd. And what motivates them, what they're thinking, and what they would agree to or disagree to, like or dislike. You know, I think really here I'm addressing the people who have been labelled trolls of the campervan/RV community. And some are just labelled trolls in general. Many of us aren't the true definition of a troll who is just a sadistic idiot who loves to go around baiting people and provoking people emotionally. No, we're not that. I believe many of us are anti-e-beggars. We don't like the idea of people mooching, freeloaders, you know, we don't like the idea of people not working to provide for themselves. You know, people who want to get money out of somebody else to provide for their needs versus get off their ass and get a fucking job. And I think many of us are basically in that stream. Many of the viewers who have been labelled trolls, in effect, think just as how I've described. In many ways, we're fighters of morality. You know, we're moral crusaders, for lack of a better term. I did have the proper term worked out. But you know, that's sort of effectively what we are. And on occasion there's some amongst us who don't really quite understand that that's the case, or quite understand our motivations and way of thinking. People who we had hoped would, people who we definitely liked, definitely got along with, but they sort of just, for whatever reason, they didn't quite get it. Maybe they lost the forest for the trees. Maybe they never really quite understood it as a whole mindset. I remember one young lass who surrounded by moral crusaders. She was starting to make a few videos that were very, quote unquote, troll friendly / anti-e-beggar friendly. You know, and we all thought she was an alright young woman, and then she decided that I mean, I must admit it was with a bit of encouragement from someone else who should have known better, but she ultimately pressed the upload button and she decided that it would be a good idea to promote a channel using her womanly assets. And, you know, I mean, I love boobs as much as the next lonely single guy, but if you're going to try and promote your channel amongst a bunch of moral crusaders by showing off your cleavage and basing the whole video on your cleavage, I knew that was going to backfire. I knew it was going to backfire. You know, and in essence, if you were to try and generalize and pick a political party based on what knowledge you have of what you have seen of the opinions of anti-e-beggars / trolls, who would it be? Would it be the political party who's worried about transgender rights and who gets to use what bathroom? Well, if you're part of the tranny community, it may well be. But we're talking about trolls / anti-e-beggars here. What would they likely have as a political party? What do you think? The party who's happy to have plenty of people on welfare, who's more worried about, or claims to be more worried about climate change than they are about jobs, more worried about the environment than they are about jobs, whose policies have led to large amounts of people being on welfare? Or do you think they would more belong to a party who believes in hard work and the American dream, and working for what you've got? What party do you think they'd end up being in? You know? A party who's got no troubles with having large swathes of the population on welfare? Or a party who, and this is a bit too extreme even for me, talks about trying to scrap food stamps? I think you can easily work out what parties I'm talking about and what parties most anti-e-begging moral crusaders amongst us would most likely be supportive of. I'm not American. I don't vote in American elections. Hell, I've never even been to America. But you know, I live in a country here where we've got pink-haired feminists running around claiming that we need to ask babies for their consent to change their nappy. Trust me. It's been on TV here. You can look it up. It's on YouTube. I'll also say that it's beyond me how some chick coming out with some claims of some crap may possibly ever lose their job at a college / university for doing anything that's left-wing. I mean, come on. You've got lecturers out there who have said simply that Trump isn't all bad, and they've lost their fucking job for it. Or they've said that some of his ideas are worthwhile ideas, and they've lost their job for it. That's it. Gone. Yeah, if you watch some of the videos that are up there on some of these college professors, God damn it, they're fucking worse than Che Guevara. They're like full-blown fucking... They're not socialists. These people are so extreme, you could class them as communist revolutionaries. I mean, they're sitting there next to Fidel Castro, for God's sake. You know, that's really what they're like. I don't know how for 5 seconds anyone can think that some woman claiming sexual harassment as another delaying tactic to have somebody put in place as a judge. Is going to somehow lose him a job when most of the colleges and universities in America are hardcore left-wingers, employed by hardcore left-wingers, inside a hardcore left-wing college administration. You know, they're not going to lose their job. And you'll see it, like, regardless if you're left-wing or right-wing, a lot of politics is tactics. You know, I see it over here more and more, like especially in this country, where it's not even about right-wing or left-wing, it's almost about trying to fucking spite the other side, trying to destroy the plans of the other side. And the actual fucking... It's not even about right-wing or left-wing at all, you know. We've had cases here where one group has started on one project and another's deliberately tried to fucking circumvent it, you know? Or they've actually halted it, you know? And these include things that money's been spent on building or whatever, you know, they're just... One will start it, it's a good idea, it's going to help everybody, and it shouldn't matter what political party you're in. Nobody likes fucking traffic congestion. And then another one gets into power, and they deliberately stall everything, fuck everything up, and throw us all back into the fucking... no further ahead than we were on solving traffic congestion, and they only done it just because they want to push back on something that the other political party done. Not that it's a good idea or anything like that. They just want to go against the other side at all costs. Even if it's a stupid idea and it means traffic congestion stays as fucked up as it is in a city, in one of the worstly congested cities in first world Western countries. It's like the 4th worst amongst fucking first world Western countries after New York and Tokyo and London. And this is the thing, so much of it is tactics. But when you sort of look at it all, in many ways, the political party that's not in power, that's the only damn thing they've got, is tactics, you know? And I mean, well, even Trump says it in his books, you got to have leverage in a deal. And let's face it, they don't have much leverage, but they're using whatever leverage they can bloody well find. I don't think it really matters what you think personally of the guy, if he's a nerd or not, if he's a, you know, backwoods guy from the deep south. I don't even know if he's from the deep south. I'll tell you right now, don't expect any legal people to be cool party dudes. They've got the money to have the car that all the cool party dudes want, but let me tell you, they are not cool party dudes. Trust me on that one. They spend too many hours at work. They're too worried about their future to be any cool party dudes. Most legal people are not like the guys off fucking Wedding Crashers or anything like that. Oh, hell no. And I'm not necessarily saying that this guy hasn't contradicted himself, but you show me what situation in politics, especially in my country, where these dickheads don't contradict themselves from time to time. A lot of politicians do. This guy's not a politician though. But you know, he's got to go through this process if he's going to be a judge placed into the position that he's trying to get into. And I think in essence, in many cases, if you ask businesses around America, should you be openly left-wing or openly right-wing? Should you be pro-Trump or anti-Trump? Many of these businesses will tell you exactly what I've heard, even from Fox News. And that is, as soon as you decide that you're left-wing or you're right-wing, all of a sudden, you've probably, not always, depends what you're selling, but you've probably just wiped out 50% of your customers. And for fucking what? To pose some fucking political position? Are you selling products or are you in a fucking political party? It's a bad move for businesses. And I think in many ways it's a bad move, really, if you're trying to entertain a group of people who probably mainly, not completely, but a majority there would fall into the Republican category. They'd be Republican Party supporters. I think it'd be a bad move to go hanging shit on anyone who is looked up to by people in this same, you know, who support this same political party that this guy has trying to put him in as a judge in a very high position. I think it might be a bad move, you know. That's going on the assumption that most of us troll/anti-e-biggers would be more Republican Party supporters of people who believe in, you know, hard work and paying for their way over welfare and handouts. You know, it might be a bad move to sort of shit-can the same people that Republicans are going to support, or do support. And I'm not saying that the guy's a fucking angel, you know. But nobody's bloody perfect. And there's one thing I was told by a manager of a company of around, oh fuck, it was big enough. Oh, I think there's at least 130 people in the company. And, you know, some employee there, I must admit, she was a hormonal pregnant woman. You know, the hormones were definitely flowing. had a little bit of a disagreement with my forklift driving, and no, I didn't squash her. She just decided to have a fucking tantrum based on how she believed I should operate a forklift. And anyway, we ended up in with the HR guy and the company manager, and he told me, look, it doesn't matter what happens. He said a company of this size, in fact a company of any real size, you're always going to have people that disagree, and you are absolutely never going to be able to please everybody. You know. And I mean, there's people that you see at time to time, you know, who... John Bolton, I tell you what, I wouldn't trust that prick with a slingshot, let alone in the position he's in. You know, he is a full-blown New World Order neocon type, full-blown. You know, but at the same time, sometimes these people are your best option. There is never going to be Mr. Perfect, and the person who's Mr. Perfect for you may not be Mr. Perfect for a large amount of the rest of the political party. You know, and they're not going to be Mr. Perfect for everybody. You know, some people are a bit iffy on Trump's ego, you know. I say if it gives the guy balls, well, he needs all the balls he can fucking get to do the job he's got to do. I mean, being a president in any country takes balls, no matter what country you're in, left wing or right wing. You know. But anyway, that's just my two bob there. I think is worth mentioning. You know, maybe you could say you got to know what side your bread's buttered on, but really you just got to know your audience. And sometimes you like to say stuff and make a point. And sometimes you make a point and you piss off everybody, or a good percentage of your audience. Mind you, if you listen to the voice, you know who you're talking about here. I know you know who I'm talking about here. It's the same guy that said, I'll give you 20,000 Iraqi dinars, Elbus. Yeah. That sort of backfired as well, so I found out. But anyway, you know, we all make mistakes. You know, and sometimes some of us make a mistake even if we know it's going to be a mistake, just because we want to make a point about something that we feel. But anyway, that's my little rant on reading an audience, second guessing an audience, getting a feel for your audience, and yeah.